the heck's going on, YouTube? I am really excited because I have a really special video for you today. At least I consider it to be. If you're anything like me, you like a good steak. But if you're also anything like me, you will know how hard it is to find really good quality beef at a good price in LA. Everything's expensive here. But as you can see from the title, I'm gonna be showing you what I consider to be the best meat market in LA. That's both quality and price. And I'm gonna be picking up 2 pieces of top quality Wagyu to cook for you all. Let's go check it out. So the place I'm gonna be taking you today is a locally and Latinx owned butcher shop called La Carniceria. They have 2 locations. Their main store and the one I'm showing you today is in Bellflower and the other is in Southgate. The Bellflower location is the original, it's the biggest, they've got the best meats, and they carry the most Wagyu. And straight up, I think this place is a gem. It's got, I think, like 100 reviews on Yelp. I know for a fact they're more popular on Instagram. And as you can see, it's pretty unassuming on the outside. It's in a strip mall next to a beauty supply store and an ice cream shop. Thankfully, we went midday on a weekday where there was like barely any line. Like, this place gets absolutely packed on the weekends. And for a good reason. I mean, look at the quality of meats in this place. They have a wide variety of meats ranging from your normal cuts of beef to prime and even, the top quality Wagyu. I mean, they have Wagyu Picanha, they have some amazing Wagyu Ribeye, which had some insane marbling, and they even have Wagyu Ranchera with Australian marbling score of like 7 and above. Now, for those who don't know what the Ranchera cut is, it's basically a cut that's really popular for carne asada. Remember, this is a Latinx owned place, so it obviously makes sense that they would carry it. But that doesn't make it any less cool. Like, I think it's amazing that they have this top quality beef for making stuff like asada. It's a little bit on the pricier side. I think it's 20 bucks a pound for the ranchera. But if you don't want to pay that much, you can go ahead and do the prime cut, which is still an amazing cut of beef for I think like 12 to 13 a pound. Either way, that's still insane because before I went to this place, I had never even seen one meat market that sold prime cuts for stuff like asada, let alone Wagyu. Something to note is that you could get it either plain or marinated, and they got everything you need to accompany it. Tortillas, veggies, salsas, cheese, like you name it. Everything you need for a good ass barbecue, they got it. Now, what's gonna really catch a lot of people's eyes is that they have A5 Wagyu from Japan. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's 2 parts. Wagyu is a breed of cow from Japan known for its excellent quality, taste of meat, and extremely high fat content. I mean, they're raised with like super intense care and extreme attention paid to their diet. And the result is so high quality that there are certificates of authenticity to prevent fakers from imitating them. As for what A5 means, it refers to the marbling score, and A5 is like top of the line. Think prime, but like 1,000 times better. And something I learned recently is that last year, in order to compete with the Australian Wagyu industry, Japan started okaying a lot more of their Wagyu for export to other markets like the United States. So that's probably why you're seeing it in places like this butcher shop. But either way, that's still rare. There's still a limited number of those cows. So to see it here is super awesome. And if you check out La Carniceria's Instagram, you will see that this is the real deal. They show the certificate of authenticities for their beef. The fact that they even have this is crazy. But what's crazier is the price. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's expensive by normal beef standards. It's $80 a pound. But if you know meat, you will know how insane of a bargain that is, especially in LA. For most people, this cut is extremely unavailable locally. Even for people like Google Foods who have like millions of subscribers on YouTube, get it from websites online and has it shipped to them. But if we were to take a look at those websites, we'll see that a pound of A5 Wagyu ribeye, you're gonna be going down the whole like $150 before shipping. And with shipping, you have the stress, the worry that it's gonna either go bad overnight when it ships to you, it's gonna spend all that time in a box. With this place, you can pick it up locally, they slice it right in front of you, and there's no stress about the meat going bad while shipping. Like, let me repeat this. A5 Wagyu for 80 bucks a pound in LA. I didn't get any this time around, but I'm definitely going to be picking up some in the future. Instead, I went with the Master Kobe Wagyu Ribeye and the marbling score 7+ Wagyu Ranchera. And I'm about to cook them right now, but I want to highlight 2 things. 1, how clean this place is, and number 2, how good the service is. Like, all of the meats look amazingly fresh. There's no meat market smell when you go inside. Like, there's no meats that look like they've been sitting there for a while. Everything looks extremely fresh. There's no smell. They make sure the place is spotless. And again, the service is amazing. Like, the staff are super helpful and they will answer any of your questions that you have about the cuts of meat. Like if you want recommendations, if you need to specify the cut, they give no attitude. If you want something that's 1.5 inches thick, they got you. If you want something that's like 1/4 inch, they got you. And that's important to note. Like, there's no minimums here, right? They're not saying, oh, you need to buy at least a pound of A5 Wagyu in order to be able to even buy it. No, you could do like 1/4 inch of the A5 and they'll have no problem cutting it for you. And they'll like actually show you the beef while they're cutting and saying like, hey, is this thickness good or is this okay? It's honestly like no surprise why this place gets so packed on the weekends. Again, I want to really highlight that. It can take you like up to an hour to get inside on weekends. But in order to remedy that, you could actually call ahead if you know exactly what you want. I'll post their Instagram information below, but yeah, if you know exactly what you want and you trust them, you trust my word, give them a call, you'll be able to go pick it up and it's gonna be like no hassle at all. Or if you want to go and actually see the meats for yourself, go on a weekday, go in the middle of the week, preferably like midday, and you will barely have any line. Like I think I waited maybe less than 10 minutes. Anyways, let's go ahead and get cooking. So first off, I'm gonna be cooking up the AA9 Plus Marbling Score Master Kobe Wagyu Ribeye. This is about 2 pounds at about 1.5 inches thick. And I mean, just look at the marblings, dudes. Like, it's absolutely insane, absolutely crazy marbling, and absolutely amazing flavor. Now I'm gonna actually be cutting up a piece of some of the fat to actually save for the cook later. Like, the steak is so heavily marbled, I'm not gonna miss this in the final product. And since I want to really taste the beef itself, I'm only gonna be seasoning it with salt and pepper. Now to some, this looks like a good amount of salt and pepper. And it is, but you gotta remember, this is a thick steak. You're gonna need a lot of seasoning on the outside. Anyways, make sure to season the sides of the steak as well if you got a thick piece like me. That's a lot of beef that would be missing out of seasoning if you decide not to. So make sure you get the sides of it. Now you can cook it however you like, but since I paid a pretty good amount for this steak, I'm gonna be putting it in a Ziploc bag and cooking it sous vide to ensure an amazing cook throughout. Now for medium rare, I got my water bath going on at 130 degrees Fahrenheit. If your steak is 1 inch thick, let it cook for an hour. If it's 1.5 inches like mine, 1.5 hours, 2 inches, 2 hours, etc. 2 hours later and it's done cooking, my dudes. Well, I mean, kind of. It's cooked throughout, but there's no crust. So what we're gonna be doing is patting the steak dry and getting a cast iron pretty hot, but not super ripping smoking hot just yet. Because remember the piece of fat I saved earlier? We're gonna start putting that in the pan and letting the fat render out before turning the temperature to max, so it doesn't hit the smoke point super early. Like, I wanted the steak to at least start cooking before the smoke alarm goes off, especially living in a studio apartment like I do. Now that the pan is hot, the fat is rendered, it's time to put the steak in the pan. Now the reason why we want the pan to be ripping hot is for the quick sear. Like, the steak's already cooked throughout, so we just want the crust and not the steak to overcook. This will take about 1 to 2 minutes on each side. And the result is amazing. I mean, just look at that crust, dudes. Sear up the other side and don't forget to hit the edges as well. And then just admire this, I mean, beautiful piece of delicious meat. And let it rest for about 10 minutes. And once those 10 minutes are up, it's time to cut it and just, I mean, goddamn, look at this freaking artery clogging goodness. Like, tell me that doesn't look good. I just served it with some rice, but it's definitely one of the best steaks I've had in a long, long time. But hold up, dudes, no, the video isn't done yet. Hell no. We still got the Wagyu Ranchera to go. So go ahead, eat the steak, get into a food coma, sleep it off for like 12 hours and get ready to grill the next day. But before that, like this video, and then also let me know what other kind of recommendations you want. Because I mean, I've got 215 pounds of experience on my waistline, so I know where to eat. But once you go ahead and do that, get ready to grill, because it's time for some Wagyu Ranchera. Day later, it's an amazing day on my apartment building's rooftop. Like, you got a perfect view of the downtown skyline, and it's just a perfect day for grilling. To start, I cranked up the temperature on my community barbecue, which, like, unfortunately, like, the temperature gauge doesn't even work. It doesn't get that hot, but you know, I gotta work with what I got. It's not gonna stop me from cooking this beef. And I mean, just look at it. Wagyu Ranchera, Marbling Score 7+ on the grill. Now, this is a pretty thin cut of beef, so it cooks really quickly. So just make sure you don't ignore it. Like I said, this grill in particular doesn't get really that hot, so I didn't really get the quality of cook I wanted, but it still looks amazing. I mean, look at this. Let's go ahead and bring it down to the apartment. Now, normally I would make some tacos with this, but I'm gonna be trying something a little bit different today. I had some leftover chips, so I'm gonna be going ahead and using them and making some nachos with this beef using some Oaxacan cheese. I sliced that cheese, which I got at La Carniceria, and I put it on top of the chips. Like, I just really like this cheese because it melts really well. I don't put the beef on it yet, because remember, it's already cooked. We don't want it to overcook. So I want to put the chips and cheese into the oven for about 10 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, while those chips are cooking, go ahead and slice up that beef. Once the time is up, take out the chips, take out the cheese, and then go ahead and add your beef right on top of it. Then sprinkle more cheese on top of the beef. Once you've done that, go ahead and turn on the broiler of your oven and then put your chips, cheese, and beef back into the oven for about 2 to 3 minutes. It's not gonna take a long time. You know, and after those 2 to 3 minutes are done, you are good to go. And I'm just gonna go ahead and turn down the music for y'all so you can just listen at how good this sounds. Add some freshly made salsa on top, and you got yourself some Wagyu carne asada Oaxacan cheese nachos, my dudes. So yeah, as you can see, there is some amazing quality beef to be had at a really pretty comparatively low price. And the best part is that you're supporting local. Like, especially now, we need to be doing that more than ever. Like, I had zero problem with coming down here and dropping a good chunk of change on some of this really good quality beef. So yeah, if you are interested in getting some amazing Wagyu or prime cuts, come down to La Carniceria. Again, they have 2 locations, one in Bellflower, one in South Cape. You're gonna have a good time and you're not gonna be disappointed. If you enjoyed this video and you wanna know more about local recommendations I have for you about stuff to get in LA, you might like this video about where to get sushi grade fish in Los Angeles. I'll go ahead and put that video in the description below. But anyways, y'all, thank you so much again for watching another one of my videos. I really appreciated it. If you liked it, give it a like. Maybe consider subscribing to my channel. But again, my name is David, and I'll see you in the next one.